Hello and welcome to the Heart of the Matter, where we are talking about the avoidant attachment style person and why they cheat. We want to develop some empathy. We want to set boundaries for ourselves so that we could build healthier relationships. Now, you're probably going to hear the chirping of birds. I'm out by the lake, so in case you have that, just think of it as this being a lovely, calming atmosphere for something that is incredibly heartbreaking for a lot of people. Going through cheating, especially with someone who's got an attachment style like the avoidant attachment, can be a devastating experience for a number of reasons. Not only the betrayal, but the inability to create the kind of connection with someone who's got an avoidant attachment style, that connection that will allow the avoidant attachment style person to sit and explain their behaviors or give a reasoning that will be comforting enough for their partner to accept, appreciate, and empathize with. We find that those with an avoidant attachment style struggle with communicating their feelings. So generally what we find is that there may be infidelities in the relationship from time to time, and the avoidant attached person may shut down or walk away instead of validating the feeling of their anxious or secure partner, or explaining or giving some sort of an explanation that would be comforting enough for their partner. We want to develop some empathy by understanding why, or a few reasons why this attachment style may get involved with someone else when they're in a committed relationship. And the reason we're doing that is not to let them off the hook. What we're trying to do is understand where they may be coming from, build some sort of an awareness around this attachment style so that we will know that we've got nothing to do with it when someone has cheated on us. We're not responsible for that kind of behavior. We don't have to take on the blame for it. And when we do that, we will know how to set boundaries for ourselves, because we know that we deserve better. We know we deserve someone who will love us, who will support us, who will be committed to us, who will consider our feelings in their actions. And when we can empathize and set those boundaries, we get to speak up and we get to build healthier, happier relationships, not only with the person that we are involved with, but also with ourselves. So let's just recap on what the avoidant attachment style really is. Now, those with an avoidant attachment style, they often have a very deep-seated fear of intimacy and vulnerability. They may have learned from very early experiences in their childhood that relying on others can lead to disappointment or hurt. And as a result of this, they may develop a self-protective mechanism of distancing themselves and, keeping their partners at an arm's length, and this is to protect themselves emotionally. However, the emotional distancing can manifest in behaviors like looking for validation outside or excitement outside of the relationship, and this can lead to cheating. They may also struggle with expressing their needs and emotions within the relationship. They find it generally challenging to communicate openly and honestly with their partners, and usually they find it difficult because they are generally afraid of the rejection, or maybe they feel like they're going to be misunderstood if they share their thoughts and their feelings. And in not sharing and holding back, they start to feel lonely and isolated. Again, just a reminder that this has got nothing to do with you. This is just something that's going on in their minds, in their hearts, in their thoughts. They're working through this. It's not something that you have done. It is their own fears. It's been developed and cultivated since childhood. So there's nothing that you did or nothing you could do differently that can pacify this fear. This is something that they have to work on. This is all in their head. In many cases, cheating may be a misguided attempt to address their unmet emotional needs. Again, it's not that you're not meeting their emotional needs. It is their feeling some sort of a discomfort, or they're feeling suffocated within the relationship. And it's all because of the way they are thinking about themselves and the relationship. You may not be doing anything. You might actually be the perfect partner, but what is happening in their minds, whatever their thought patterns are, it's going to create a fear that's going to create some distance. So it's going to be a case of where they get into their heads and they start to think, no, I'm getting too close to this person. I can't share. If I share, they're not going to understand me. Oh, this other person is showing me some attention, but I really don't like this person so much. I like the attention I'm getting from them, but I'm not going to get hurt by this person because I'm not emotionally involved to that degree. So I'm going to share with the other person. They can't share with you. You're too close to them. And what happens when we're too close to people? Those are the ones that can hurt us because we care about their thoughts. We care about their opinions of us. Now, while we understand the reasons behind infidelity in the context of the avoidant attachment style, it is absolutely important to emphasize the role of empathy, self-worth, and boundary in building a relationship with yourself first. And then when you're built up enough, you will be able to create those healthy relationships that you're looking for. You want to develop empathy. And when you do that, what it really involves is recognizing and understanding the emotions and the experiences of ourselves and others. We are not going to feel exactly the same way as someone else does. But let's say, for example, you're in a relationship and that person's cheated on you and you're trying to get some answers and they're not responding. They're shutting down. They're walking away. What you want to do is put yourself in a position of, remember a time when you knew you were going to be in trouble. You knew you did something that was going to cause pain or upset. And the fear that you felt in having to admit it, and you probably didn't admit it. You probably just wanted the whole problem to just disappear and for things to get back to normal. That is what they generally go through, because it's not really the action. It is what the feeling, the feeling provoked by the action. So you do something wrong, you know you're going to get in trouble, and now you get afraid of admitting to doing the thing that you believe caused pain or hurt. And that's how we develop empathy. We don't say, oh, I would never cheat on this person. It's the truth of the matter is, as much as we all have some very high morals and values, we don't know what life is going to throw our way. In this moment, we could say, I've never done this. I would never put this person in this position. I don't want to put this person in this position. However, we have all done things in the past that we're not proud of. And if we could remember those times and say, wait a second, I did not like doing this. This was not my intention. It happened. I hurt someone. I got really scared. I lied to them about it. I kept it from them. I could not admit to it. Then we start to build an empathy because we're now understanding the fears that can make a person act in ways that they won't necessarily do. I hope that's helpful. If it is, leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you've got a question on that, you want to dig a little deeper into it, we can do that in another podcast. We also want to know our self-worth. And when we know our self-worth, then we know how valuable we are in any relationship. When we know that we are the prize, we are going to be able to set clear boundaries. And when we can set clear boundaries, and we want to set boundaries, not ultimatums. A lot of times we get confused between boundaries and ultimatums. A boundary is saying, this is something that was done to me and I don't appreciate it. You're speaking about your feelings, and there's an underlying message there that you're not going to tolerate it. An ultimatum is, you did this to me, I don't like it. If it happens again, I'm going to do this. And that's more like a threat/ultimatum. That is not a boundary. We set boundaries when we know This is something that I don't like feeling. This is not something that I will accept. But I'm not telling the other person that you have to stop doing it. I'm telling myself that I will not accept it any further. Right? So that's the difference with the boundary. And when we know our worth and what we bring to the relationship, we could set those clear boundaries. When we can set clear boundaries, and if you notice the way I stated the boundary versus ultimatum in that boundary, it tells the other person that I'm not afraid of losing them. I'm not afraid of them disagreeing with me. I'm stating how I feel, and that's all there is to it. Now, when they sense that I'm not afraid, then guess what? They know without me having to say it, that if they did that thing again, there's a high chance that I may not be there. I may leave, right? So you're giving them an opportunity. You're giving yourself permission to be okay with your feelings. And that there sets the stage for a healthy relationship, because now that person they're clear on what your boundaries are. Now they make a decision on how they want to show up or not. And setting clear boundaries will let the other person know that you know where your lines are in disrespect. And that will also allow this person to know that dishonesty and not being able to trust them would not be options. They're going to know that respect, honesty, and trust are high on your demand list. And I used the word demand a little too strongly there, but they know exactly what it is you deserve. We want to combine empathy. We want to have that self-awareness, and we want to be able to set strong boundaries. You see, exploring the reasons why someone with an avoidant attachment style may cheat, it only provides valuable insights into the complexities of us humans and the way we behave in relationships. Building empathy will help us to appreciate that we are not to be blamed, nor are we responsible when someone cheats on us. We get to decide on what's best for us and not tolerate anything less. Let me know if this podcast was helpful. Share it with your friends. We never know who it may help. And subscribe for more podcasts in the future. Thanks for listening.